Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Alright, this lesson is going to be called, women will have no choice but to humble themselves. Alright, and, I'm just going to jump straight into the scriptures, and we're going to start off by reading Isaiah 3:16. Alright, and it says, "Moreover the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty or proud," another word for haughty is proud, "and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and menacing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Alright, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts." Alright, so this is like a special curse, just for, the proudness of the Israelite women. Alright, because Esau's tactic is to how he divides up the household. He gives our women power over us, and that's not the order that Israel is supposed to follow. In this society, Esau gives women rights over men, and just to show that that's wicked is let's go to 1 Corinthians the 11th chapter. Slacky, bear with me for a moment. Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 11, and I'll start at 1. It says, "Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Yahweh Shai." Because that, this is the Apostle Paul talking. So, Apostle Paul was, chosen to start a ministry. So, he was telling people to follow him like he follows Yahweh Shai. You should follow your teachers like they followed theirs. "Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai." Alright, so the head of every man, that's Yahweh Shai. We follow under Yahweh Shai. Don't get too proud or haughty, thinking that you know your own way. The head of every woman is the man, and the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh. So we can't go directly to the Most High. We have to go to Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. Just like the woman is supposed to go through their man to pray. It's actually written in the law. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's part of the law that men were supposed to hear their woman's prayers. Alright, and they'd correct them on what's okay to pray for and what's not. But yeah, that's the point. Is the head of every woman is supposed to be the man. Alright, but they're haughty in this society, and because of it, they're gonna receive these curses written in Isaiah the 3rd chapter. Alright, and it says, "That day the Lord will take away," starting at verse 18, "and that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling or naments about their feet, and their cows and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers." Just going into all their jewelry. I'm gonna skip down a bit, but they're proud wearing all this stuff, because it's not for a woman to be proud and walking about in the public. They're supposed to dress modestly and stay in the household. Take care of the things around the house, cook, clean, while the man goes out and handles business in out in the field, or out in the city. Whatever their occupation is. The man is supposed to provide for the household, and the woman is supposed to be like a help. I'm going to skip down to verse 24. It says, "And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well-set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty." Right? So, hey, you know, that's what's going to humble these women, man, is when, you know, they start getting afflicted. All right? And ultimately, this isn't going to come until Jacob's trouble, you know, fully pops off and all hell breaks loose. All right, verse 25, "Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground." Right, because, you know, because whether women, you know, these proud women want to admit it or not, they still rely on men, you know? They just got them under their fucking emotional manipulation, thinking that, you know, that these women are going to give them play. But really, they got them, you know, manipulated into thinking that. And they just get their nails paid for, or, you know, different bills paid for by these men, you know? You know, with that OnlyFans bullshit, or, you know, what have you. Simps, basically. You know, these women got them acting like simps. But verse 4, or chapter 4, verse 1, it says, "And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach." You know, and that's only going to happen when, you know, they start seeing masses of men, you know, mighty men fall, man. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So, you know, until, you know, the Most High brings these curses upon these women, that's when they're going to humble themselves and say, you know, let me be an asset instead of a liability. That's basically what Isaiah 4:1 is saying. He said, hey, you know, let me be an asset instead of a liability. Just let me be called by your name, to take away our reproach. You know? Because, you know, they're gonna see the true value of a man, because, hey, men are shit on in this society. But, you know, in that day when you know, hell breaks loose, they're gonna see that a man is well, let's grab Isaiah 13, is more precious than gold. Right? Because men are the true assets. This is Isaiah 13:12. It says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Alright? So, you know, the golden wedge of Ophir, that was when, you know, King Solomon was sending his navy ships to get gold from the Western world. Alright? And it was, you know, really fine gold, because it was from a faraway land. It was more precious. But yeah, a man is going to be more precious than fine gold. And let's get 2 Ezra 16. I'll start at 22. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." All right, because there's going to be mass death going on. That's why, you know, the value of a man is going to skyrocket. All right, because there's going to be a scarcity of them. All right, and especially because it's talking about mighty men too. All right, you know, men that know how to survive out in the woods and, you know, can hold their own, so to speak. They're going to be falling too. Verse 23, it says, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down." So there's going to be so much death that, you know, people aren't going to be able to comfort them. You know, comfort those who have lost family members or close ones, friends, you won't be comforted, because that's how much death is going to be going on. It's going to be every man for himself. Verse 24, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. So it goes into it. It says, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. All right? Desolate, There's going to be a scarcity of men, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. So even men are going to be desiring to, see another man, because whenever you go without a person's affection for too long, you start to go crazy. If you're left isolated by yourself for too long, that's when people start going crazy. But hey, that's what's coming upon. That's what type of evils are coming upon the earth, man. It says, for a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of rocks. Yeah, because those are going to be the people that try to hide in the bunkers when when all hell breaks loose and nuclear missiles are shot. They're going to try to hide themselves. But the scriptures say, in Revelation, that basically they're going to be searched out. They're going to try to hide themselves from the destruction, but through Yahushua and his army, of the elect men of Israel, and the angels, they're going to search them out. If they're wicked, they're going to be destroyed, and if they're righteous, then they're going to be preserved unto the kingdom. But yeah, it says, as an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. All right, so whenever the raiding is happening, looting and rioting and raiding, invading one another, there's going to be a few people left, and ultimately that's going to be the elect. All right. It says, where did I leave off? Verse 32. It says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travail therethrough, or travel therethrough. So yeah, because I'm out here in a park right now. You have like little certain beaten paths, because people come here often, so after a while it treads on the grass, and it leaves a little dirt path. But if you go so long without traveling through it, then weeds will start overgrowing, and it won't be it will become more of a wilderness than a trail. Same, and that that can happen to highways. Nature will take over, man. But verse 33 says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Right, man, because there's going to be a scarcity of men, and these women are going to be left alone, without their men to take care of them, because they're going to realize that, damn, like, I ain't shit without my men. All right, so they're going to have no choice but to be okay with 7 women taking hold of 1 man, and actually having to be an asset instead of a liability. They're going to have to provide for their men, take care of their man finally. But yeah, it says, verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, hear now these things, and understand the servants of the Lord. Behold the word of the Lord, receive it, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake, the false gods. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Yeah, because this is what's coming, So women are going to have to get right. Men are going to have to get right, all right? But the only people that are going to do that is the righteous, the remnant of Israel. Starting with the elect men, the 144,000, on down to the 1/3, who might be family members or friends that help the elect, during tough times, and the women that help, that, humble themselves, all right? Let's see, let me get, what's that, Isaiah, Slacky. and 6. Yeah, this is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Alright, so that's what's gonna separate the men from that's what's gonna make a man more precious than fine gold, is the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. Alright, because the scriptures say that mighty men are gonna fall by the sword. Matter of fact, let's grab Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 6. It says, ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So he, Jeremiah was asking, why why are these men, holding on to their loins like women do whenever they're giving birth, and every man's face turned to paleness, and that's an expression, when your face is turned to paleness, it's because you're in trouble, man. You're looking a little pale, you don't look so good. You scared? You nervous? But yeah, men shall be as women in that day. Men being little bitches. Alright? Verse 7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Alright? And the he that shall be saved out of Jacob's trouble is talking about the righteous, man. The ones that have the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that's going to be the stability of that times. Alright? The ones that understand that this is part of prophecy, the ones that have faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, that's going to deliver them from these evil times. The ones that put Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai before themselves, alright? And keep the order, alright? Because hey, that's ultimately why we're under the curses. Why our women aren't right in the first place is because the men broke the order first, alright? But hey, that hey, women, we're coming back into that order though, alright? Where a God-fearing man, so to speak, is gonna, get his women back, plural, alright? Yeah, with that, hope this video was edifying. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, Ba'Shem Makakudash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders. Great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect of Israel out there. Shalom.